Hi everyone, Amazing here. Today we're gonna be actually creating this second video that is gonna actually be very wonderful as well. So in the first video we actually created background and everything that has to do with the cards that we have right here. So right now in this very second video we're gonna actually start creating the back end analytics and actually get it visualized and have it much more dynamic, just like what we have right here. So I think I've actually given you an overview. If you've not watched that, you might really want to take a look at that. So let me just give you a very brief overview about this Excel dashboard we have right here. So under this Excel dashboard, what we have is just that we have this particular cards that actually has different charts that actually help us to analyze our data, and we have our slicers hidden, and actually we can hide it every single time we need it. And we can give the flexibility of this particular changing of charts to from line chart to a column chart, just like what we have right here. Right now we are actually seeing this particular analytics in a line in a very column chart, and we are seeing based on order. So we might really want to see it by what we might want to see it by cost of goods sold, or we might want to see it by the profits. So when we click this, we have it just like this, and we can have the same thing on the line chart. Depends on what the clients or what your boss really want to view it in, and this is just the max sales. So right now we're gonna start building this from the scratch. So let's see how we can actually get into that. So already I have this particular workbook open. So view from view, I'm gonna hit and switch, and I'm gonna switch to this particular aspect. So first of all, what you will need to do is just for you to actually make sure you save your work to what, to micro enable. So I'm gonna actually go to save as and actually show you what I'm trying to say right now. Already I've saved this. I'm gonna show you how to save, because we're gonna actually be writing a little micro. It's not gonna be a very huge micro that you'll be thinking I don't know how that works, but don't worry, just copy my steps. Okay, right now here is it. When you actually click, you see a lot of ways to save, like CSV and all of that. So just choose this Excel macro enable workbook, so and actually save your work with this and whatever you want to give it as a file name. So already we've saved. I'm gonna go back right now. So already we've actually created this one in the first part. So right now this is not really working for now, but we're gonna actually make it work. So the first thing we're gonna do right now is for us to actually visit our data source. So now here is the data we're gonna be using for this particular analytics. So right now the data is just our first word code. So I'm gonna actually choose the date type where they feel like it's gonna fit in. Okay, fine. I'm gonna choose a date and I'm gonna hit OK. I think I love this, right? This is cool. So the next thing I'm gonna be adding now is 2 extra column. I just love adding my month separately on my own. So right already this is in the table format. So if I actually enter and add it, actually go the other column. So right now I'm gonna say month name. If I hit enter, because I have it in date format, automatically the column get populated down. So the next one is gonna be week with days. So I hit enter. So right now let us write a little functions to actually help us get our month. So it's gonna be equal to, if you've never got to know this before this time, that is just good for you. So we're gonna use text function to get this done right here. So the first thing we're gonna be needing is actually the value, and we're gonna scroll down to this end. So I'm gonna click on this and I will get back right here. So the text is actually this, so we'll give it the date column. And what we're gonna do, how do we need our dates? Must have known what it is. is actually for the month, day is for day, and Y is for year. So we're gonna actually put this and hit the full M for the first time, for example. I'm gonna close this and hit enter. So this is what I'm gonna have. I'm gonna have January. If I actually click right here, so we're gonna have from January down to December. That is what we're gonna be having, right? But we don't really want it to be like this. I'm gonna actually click and actually get one of the off. So if I hit enter this time around, this is what I have exactly. I want something like this. But what about the weekday? How do we get the weekdays? Right here, it's gonna be very simple. We're gonna be using weekday function. So weekday function is what we're gonna be using. So we're gonna back to this particular date column. So if I hit enter, this is what I'm gonna have it in numbers. But what am I gonna do if I really want to have this in normal weekdays? So we just need to actually control 1 and get to the right place. I'm gonna use custom, and under custom I'm gonna click on this and actually hit to actually give this to. So here we go. If I give it the 4 days, what I'm gonna have is this full Tuesday, but I don't really need that. I'm gonna get this 3. So now here I have it. So right now you can actually save your work regularly to actually back it up. Should actually something happen to it, you can reopen it again. So right now we're done with what I really want to do at the very data source. So now we need to actually go to the back end. So what we have right here is, if we go back to a dashboard, this is today's date. So it's actually collecting the date from here. So right now we need to actually insert our first pivot table to actually summarize our data, start to actually create the analytics we really want and the kind of visualization we feel like it's cool with us. So hitting on this, I'm going to go to the top level right here and go to insert. If it is the first time you're actually creating a pivot table, this is how you're going to go about it. Now the first thing you're going to be asked to do is either choose from new to existing one. So I'm going to use the existing one because already I have a sheet prepared for that. So I'm going to choose on the existing one right now. I'm going to hit on this one. So now you can see the location is actually an analysis sheet. So right now you can feel like where do you want to place this. So I want to place this right here, and I'm going to hit OK. So let's see what we're going to do, or what we're about to get into. So if I come to this is what I'm going to actually get first. So we actually start to focus on this for the first time before we actually run it up right here. So right now the first thing I'm going to get right now is my month number. I'm going to get it down, but before I get my month number down, I'm going to actually take it back in. I'm going to go to my date and drag my date down. So already my date had been grouped for me. Let us see how we can ungroup this and actually group it back again to actually get what we want from here. So we have quarter, we have date, and we have month. So let's say it's not like this and you're using the previous version, so it will look like this. You would have to group it yourself. Now this is actually ungrouped, right? So how do you group? You just right click and actually go to group, and what you need to do is to group it by day, by quarter, and by year. And when you hit enter, this is what you're gonna have, exactly what we have right here right now. So we don't need any of this. It's just for me to illustrate to you what it is that you would have if you want to group. But this time around I want to have this right here because I need the year, and I'm going to choose on my month right here and break it down. So this is exactly what I need. So let us check it out. We have raw labels. We don't really need this to be in raw labels, so we want to actually have the month name right here. So what I'm going to do is just to click at the top right here, and I'm going to hit on this design and go to report layout. I'm going to choose on this particular show in tabular form. That is correct. So if we go back, we have the month name on it. But what if we don't want this month name to be what it is? So we can actually change that later, right? So right now the next thing is going to for me to get this grand total away because I don't need it. So I'm going to actually go and see. There are several ways to actually do this. If you want to actually do this in the other way around, I'm going to show you in a jiffy. So right now what we're going to be analyzing this with is the sales. I'm going to drag the sales down right here, so we've gotten this right. So but what we actually want to actually see, if we go back to the previous one, which is completed here. So what we're trying to get into right now is this. So if you look at this, so this is the sales for 2019, whole sales for 2019, and the whole sales for 2020, and this is actually what is showing us the trend on a monthly basis. We are trying to get into this exactly right now. So now I'm going to choose back this particular sheet right now, and I'm going to go to the top right here and actually make a filter. So I'll remove all the filter and I'll pick up 2019 alone. So all I'm seeing is actually the sales for 2019. So exactly, I'm going to actually copy this away from here and duplicate it to actually get my 2020. So get it this way. And this time around I'm going to select here and deactivate this and actually get this right here. So we have two different things, right? I'm going to actually get this away. So this is what we have right now. So now this is going to be, you can name anything you really feel like. I would love to actually, give it a name. I'm going to say a trend line. So I'm going to create my trend line like this, hit enter. So right now I'm going to center it across. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to format cell and actually click on this and hit right here and center across selection. So here is what we have. So we're going to make it very clean, so it does like what we've seen in the previous one. So I've not shown you the back end of the one we actually replicating. So this is what it is. So now you can actually see what it is that this one is actually doing. So right now, if I want to copy this away from here right now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy and actually drop this right here, and we're gonna choose something different. So now we have two charts right there. So the next thing I'm gonna do now is I'm going to click right here and actually name this my top three months. So my top 3 months, if you look at my 3 months right here, what it is that we have is actually the top 3 months we have. Now we can actually switch to the top 3 months of this particular year, and as well the top 3 months of this particular year. So how to do it with this? So don't worry, it's a simple code that is going to actually help you to do this. Instead of us to create many of these cards and actually, you know, make this particular space to consume this, we don't want that. So we actually make it very, you know. So right now, having done that, what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna take this away from now. Okay, I'm gonna bring it back and actually have this removed from here. For the first time, I'm gonna get this away. We don't need this again anymore. So we're going to go right here and actually get this away from here. We don't need this any longer, right? So what I'm gonna do right now is just for me to actually hit on this particular aspect right here and go to filter and go to top 10 and actually default this to the top 3. So now, we really need to actually have the year because we need to filter it by the month. So I'm so sorry if I must have done that, I forgot. Okay, I'm gonna go down a little bit, bring it back right here, so we still have it. So right now, if I go right now and go to filter value, I can actually easily do this from here. Like my top 3 months is actually right here, and if I go right here as well, it's gonna, the same thing is gonna happen. So there's another way around you can actually do this. So if you right click and actually go to filter, so you see top 10 right here, and you're gonna click and actually get the top 3 months right here. Exactly, this is what we have now. We've just gotten this right. So now we are going to actually get this visualized and actually have this to be here. For now, we're not going to be needing this to actually use, but we're going to come back to pick it up and actually switch it up with our VBA code. But the first thing we're going to be doing is actually have to create our first view right here. So I'm going to insert my first chart. I'm going to go to my pivot chart in Excel. So right now I've got in my pivot chart, I'm gonna go with this. So now I'm gonna remove all this. Just go to hide all field button on chart. So we're gonna remove any of this both Y and X axis from here. Exactly, we can take it out. So now, so that's cool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the background. Just double click on it and you see this appeared. So once you have this appeared, just open it and actually say no fill. So you have this close and go to border and say no line. So right now this is cool. So what we're going to do right now is to cut this away from here and take it to a dashboard for the first time. So we're going to hit this and Ctrl V will actually help us this in right here. So now this is almost getting interesting. So we're going to bring this down right here. So right now I'm going to remove the grid line. So I don't need the grid line. Just click right here and actually go and see grid line go all the way. So now this is cool. So I'm going to click on this and actually come back to this particular aspect and actually make sure I close the cap a little bit. I think 80 is cool. 83 is cool. So right now I have it on 83 and I'm going to change the color to something very cool, just like what we have right here. So the line, I'm going to go to the main fill color. So I'm going to choose this particular color right here that is going to correlate with this, right? So this is exactly what we need to have right now. I'm going to bring it down a little bit. I think I'm cool with what I have right now. So now we've gotten this. So the next thing that I'm getting right now is for me to go back to my analysis sheet and close this right here, and actually something is to be done right now. I'm going to be adding 1 2 3, I think something like this, adding more columns. So I'm going to right click and actually add more columns. I'll insert. Now this is how we add column, right? So right now what I'm going to do is for me to actually copy this away from here as well. For the second time I'm going to copy and have it dropped right here. I'm gonna drop this again right here. You understand what I'm doing right now. So now what I'm gonna do is to actually have to default this to 2019. this is 2019, and I'm gonna actually have to get my month away from here. So click on this and get my month away from here as well. So now 2019, 2020. So now the KPI is almost completed. So what I'm gonna do right now, just okay, fine. Now we need to actually get the value of 2019 right here. So I'm gonna click at the top right here and go to insert, and what I'm gonna insert is this word art right here. Just click on it. So if you look at it, we don't have a ruler, our top bar existing, so we're gonna actually make sure we bring it and go to view. From view, we're gonna say formula bar. So we have as formula bar right now, so I'm gonna click on formula bar and hit an equal to, and I'm gonna hit back to my back end, and I'm gonna pick out 2019 and I hit OK. This is cool, right? So I'm gonna bring it down to this particular aspect right here. So now here we go. So now we can now increase the I can say go to home. I can actually increase the, yeah, I think this is cool. Can increase this, can put it on bold, and I can choose the font color to be on white. And right now if you look at what we have right here, we don't really have the we don't kind of have any currency sign on it, like dollar sign or naira sign if you want to go by naira, or any other currency you want to go by. So all I'm gonna do right now is to click on analysis sheet and actually highlight everything at the same time, because I want to have it on every part of them. So I'm gonna highlight this as well, so I have this highlighted. So I'm gonna right click on this and actually select this particular number formatting. So I'm gonna go to currency, and I love dollar sign, we had the dollar symbol we have right here. If I hit OK, I think I'm gonna have it on everything. So what the heck is wrong with, oh shit. Okay, fine, no problem. So we're gonna do this manually for now, but it's gonna be very quick. So Control 1 will help us do that. So I'm gonna go to currency, and I'm gonna take off the extra decimal we have right here. I'm gonna click on this, and I'm gonna actually apply this with Format Painter. So now here we go. It's gonna be very quick. So now I'm gonna get this as well. So I'm gonna go right on this. I'm gonna hit on this. I think we got this ready. So now if I go back to my dashboard, so this is what I'm gonna have right here. Alright, behind the scene I've actually created this just to make sure it is very fast and speedy in time of creation. So right now you can see it's not properly aligned. You can actually do this by actually hit on this and actually click on this and go to the top right here and go to format, and from format you can actually make sure you have it properly aligned to the top. Right now I'm going to choose to the top, and you have it aligned to the top right now. So if we choose this as well, and I'm going to actually click on this, I'm going to see that it's not properly aligned. So I'm going to actually come back and go to this, and I'm going to hit an align. I'm going to see bottom. So now we have it properly aligned. So now we have actually achieved this, but we're going to achieve the second chart we have right here after this particular aspect, so that we can actually switch within, so using VBA. So we're going to be doing that achievement later after on, but we're gonna have to create something just nice like what we have right here right now. So let's see how that goes. So we're gonna go back to our analysis sheet right here. So this time around we're not going to be going back to the data source to create another pivot table again, but we have to recycle through what we've just gotten. So how do we do that? So we need to recycle. I'm gonna copy this away from here. So now to recycle, we go down, and I'm gonna paste this right here right now. So now this is how I recycle. So but for now I'm gonna actually remove the year, which is I don't need it. So what we're gonna do is, for me to remove this, we're still gonna analyze by the cells. So what we need to actually have right here is the regions we actually make cells to. So now those are the regions we really need to have. But something is actually amazing right here, it can't really work. So we need to actually make sure we trick pivot table to actually get to this the aspect where we're gonna have to create the type of chart we really want. So right now if we try to insert that kind of chart we've just seen right there, and it's not gonna work. So let's see, we go to analyze and we hit pivot chart, and we just try to actually default it to a scatter chart right here. None of the scatter chart is working, but how can we actually still achieve the same thing? So I'm going to show you something right here. So when you copy this, what you're going to do right now is to actually make sure you paste as a link. So right now I'm going to actually click and copy right now, and I'm gonna paste it right here and right click and say paste link. So now here we go, paste link. It is pasted just like the link. So right now it has a link to this particular one right here, which means every single time there is changes in this data we have right here, the change is going to actually affect right here as well at the same time. Now if I actually double click on this right now and I say sales region, I hit enter, so you can see it affects this as well automatically. So this is exactly what it is. So right now we can create that kind of chart we've actually seen by highlighting everything. I'm going to go to the top. Now it's no more chart, so it's just ordinary chart, but still the kind of chart we're going to create. So I'm going to go to this particular scatter chart we have right here. I'm going to insert this particular scatter chart. So the axis is going to be off, both x and y axis is going to go off, and as well I don't need the tally building right here. I'm going to take it off as well. So this is what we are left with. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to double click on the top right here and actually bring this particular format chart area, and I'm going to click on this particular aspect. So I'm going to go to my marker, and now here we are. So we need to actually give it different types of colors. So what you need to do is just to hit on this very colors by point right here. So this is cool, right? So I'm going to go down right here and actually feel like, okay, what we need to do right now when you talk about the border, so we want to crank up the border, but before then what we're going to do is just for we to hit on this particular line right here and make sure we keep it a solid line. So this solid line we've given to it right now, we don't want the line to just go like this. What we need to do is just for we to give it some kind of dot line like what we have right here, these dashes. So this is cool right now. This is cool. I'm gonna make it smooth. So now I have it to be some kind of trend like this. So this is cool, right? So I'm gonna go away from the line to back here right now. So what I'm gonna be doing, I'm gonna close this field and I'm gonna go to border. So what the border is going to be doing is actually I'm gonna have to click back again, click back to this and actually go to the same here. Here we are on the border. So I'm gonna make sure the weight of the border is actually 30. So the weight of the border is 30 points. So exactly this is what I want. So the 6 is exactly what it is that we really want. So if we click, if we cancel this border right now, if we still on this border right now, I'm gonna click and make sure I have this highlighted alone, so I can now change the color of the border to whatever I really want. So now we can see the color is effective in this, and you can actually choose to actually give this particular the kind of color you feel like is gonna fit into what you really want. So now something like this are really cool. So the next thing I'm gonna do right now, I click and I click back right now. It's just for me to make sure it's turned out in the background where we're gonna actually have it right. So but before then I'm gonna actually click on this particular aspect right here and actually remove the, yes, sorry for that. So click right here right now. I'm gonna take off the border, I'm gonna take off the fill color. So I'm gonna have to make it a little bit smaller. So right now we're gonna be taking this to a dashboard. Hit on this dashboard right here. I'm gonna Ctrl V to paste it right in. So now this is what I have. I still have it with the grid lines, which is really fine. I'm gonna have it with the grid line. So we're gonna be doing something to actually format the grid line a little bit to actually see it into what we really want. So make it more wider. So right now the first thing we're gonna do right now is the grid line. Let us work with the grid line first. So the grid line, we're gonna actually make sure we give it something cool. I'm gonna go for something like this. Very well, I think it's cool. So we choose this again and we make sure we lower the transparency. So something like this looks nice. I'm gonna click on this. Here we go. So I'm gonna go to this shadow aspect right here. I'm gonna pick up a particular shadow I feel like it's gonna be cool with. So I love this shadow and I'm gonna remove it. I don't really have any transparency in it, and the size is gonna be bigger, so I'm gonna have a very big size on it. So the distance, I'm gonna actually increase the distance by more 2 points. So now the blur now is gonna be something I'm gonna apply a very quick blur. So right now it makes it become kind of stand out. So if we think this is actually too much, so we can actually still reduce the transparency, but we're gonna leave it this way. So this is the first thing we're gonna do, right? So the next thing we're gonna do right now is for me to actually apply my data label. So I'm gonna have it right here. I'm gonna click on this and actually go to the top right here. I'm going to from home. I want to choose color for it, and the color is gonna be white. So right now this is cool, right? So I'm gonna give it a bold, and we're gonna actually crank up the color to like 16 point. So now this is what we have. So if we go back to our data analysis sheet right here, so we need to actually apply this particular formatting where we have the dollar sign on it right here. So we're gonna apply it right here. So if we go back right now, it stands out. Exactly, this is what we have. So we have to reduce it a little bit just to make sure it's set well. So now here we go. I'm gonna hit right here. So right now I'm gonna show the x-axis value. So right now we can see the region we are in. So now how we create this kind of chart to show us the trend, how it goes up and down, all of that. So the west is actually the top highest selling region. So right now actually do that. So the next we're going to be actually getting right now is this particular chart we have right here. But before then, so let me just give you this right here. So this is where we're going to have our slices in. So we're going to have to place it right here for now, temporary. So we can't really switch through this right now. If we click, it's still gonna actually still remember where it is. It's not just like the previous one we've just seen, like the one we have right here right now, which is just this that we can actually show and as at the same time. We'll do that, but not really now. Let us actually finish the visual aspect of it right now before we actually delve into how to create that. So I'm gonna go to and actually switch back to the right workbook we are working in. So right now we need to get some KPIs right here. So how we're gonna do that? So I'm gonna go to the same place and actually have this copied. So we're gonna do the same thing to what we've done previously. So we're gonna remove the region right now. So we're removing the region. So don't worry, we are gonna have this right for you to actually download. So I'm gonna go say cost of goods sold, profit, and I'm gonna get the total order right here for you. So I'm gonna actually type this and just KPI. So KPI, control 1, and I'm gonna go down to align, and we have this to be center cross selection. So if we can actually go home and actually make sure. So this is as a result of we to remember what it is that we have there, what kind of analysis we really have there, what is it doing. Just give it some kind of, but I always advise for you to actually have your every pivot table on different sheets. So yeah, that would be cool. So right now I'm gonna go right here and I'm gonna hit on sales. So we're just gonna recycle through this now by actually duplicating this to have it pasted right here instead of we to actually start to do this from the scratch again. I'm gonna get this right here. So fine, we've just gotten this. Okay, fine, this is what we've just got, right? But it's gonna make sense right now. Let's see how we can actually link it to our various KPIs right here. So I'm gonna click on this particular aspect and actually hit on this sum, but this is gonna be crazy. We don't really want this sum to be right on it. So I'm gonna go back right here and see how we can remove this sum of with ease. I'm gonna click on Ctrl H and I'm just gonna type sum of right here. So I'm gonna replace this with nothing. So this is what we have. All the 4 had been removed. So now here we go. So right now if we go back to it, what this is what we're gonna have, right? So right now we have this on AF4. So I think AF4, if we go back right here, I'm gonna do the same thing, go back, and so this is Azure. So I'm gonna just click on this. Make sure I have this clicked. Sorry for that. Okay, fine. Have this clicked. I'm gonna copy this away from here. It's gonna be very speedy. And the last one is this, actually the sales right here. So we're gonna hit on equal to and actually go right here and pick it up like what we like right here. So right now I'm gonna actually have to crank this up a little bit. So right now I'm going to make sure I give it, I'm gonna go right here and give it this kind of color. I really feel like it fits in. So right now what I'm gonna do is just to get this pointer right here and give it to others. So now this is cool. So right now we need to actually get this up as well. So now I'm gonna go right with this. I'm gonna give it a very pure white. So right now I'm gonna give it bold and extend out. So here we go. So right, we've just gotten this right. This is exactly what we really want. But right now I'm gonna actually have to click on this and this and this, and make sure I centralize it rightly the way I really wanted it to be. So I'm gonna actually have to click and actually move it a little bit to switch right in the middle of it. So now I have it cool. So now this is what we need to have right now. So the next thing is for we to create a kind of chart we have right here. But to create that, I'm going to show you something we're going to do. So we need to actually add filter. The first filter we're going to be adding is this combo right here. Go to developer, actually click on this insert, and we're going to be inserting this particular combo box right here. Oh, sorry, it's too big. Okay, fine. So now we need this combo box right here to be inserted. So now that this combo box is actually sitting right here, what we need to do is just for we to actually get what the kind of value we want on this combo box right in here. So if we look at the combo box right now, there is nothing inside it and it's not really doing anything right here. So we're going to go back to our analysis sheet right here, and actually I'm going to copy this away from here. I'm going to be needing this in full, so I'm going to actually be copying from the top right here. So now I'm going to drop this right here right now. So have this dropped right here. What I'm going to be naming this one to be is actually switch. It's going to be switch KPI, wherever. Or maybe I can remember this. So right now what I'm going to do is just for me to have my month name right here, and I'm not going to go by the top three wherever. I'm going to clear the filter away from here. I'm going to say clear filter, and this is all I have right here, right? So right now this is cool. So the next thing I'm going to do right now, I'm going to actually copy the month down to the last right here. I'm going to have it down right here. So right now what I'm going to be doing is for me to actually get every single time I make a selection of sales, I want to see sales. If I make a selection of cost of goods, so I want to see it right here. So right now we need to actually link this particular, sorry for that, go back to dashboard. So we need to link this right there, right? So what we need to do right now before we actually link this is actually go back to this and actually make sure we have this right here. So but something is actually, you know, gonna be wonderful right now. So we want every single time, if we actually copy this right now, this is a regular transpose that most of us really understand, but we have advanced transpose that is going to be very, very nice. So I'm going to say transpose, and here we go, and I can actually name this one to be my what? I can name this one to be my drop tab. But every single time, if we click right here on this, it's not linked to anywhere. If something happens to this right now, it's not going to actually affect any of this. Like if I come right here right now and click and actually make sure I have this on cost of goods sold encapsulator right now, if I actually get this way and actually hit enter, so now we can get this right. It's already exists. I'm going to actually put a little space, and here we go. So now it doesn't change anything right here. We want to actually change something every single time something like that happens. I'm going to delete this away from here, and now having it highlighted, I'm going to type on transpose. So now this is the function transpose, and we need to provide it the array just like what we have right here. I'm going to close it, and I'm going to hit my Control Shift and enter. So here we go, we have it just like this. So now if I go right now and actually double click on this, and I'm just going to say use the hash to represent number. So now that is number of order. If I actually hit OK, so right now I have it appeared right here as well. So every single time there is something that happens to whatever one here is going to actually affect this as well. So right now we can go back to a dashboard, and we can now link this, and I'm going to go to what? Format control. So in the format control, it's going to actually input range is going to be this right now. My input range is going to be this is my drop down. So now my cell link is going to be go back to this particular okay, now my cell link is going to be the top one right here, and it's just 4 in the drop down. I'm going to choose the 4, you can make sure you have it in 3D. That is no long thing. So now here we go, we have the 4 right here. So we have a number of orders and wherever we have it right here. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is this. I want to actually dynamically get these values we have right here populated. So we want to know what are we selecting right now among 1, 2, 3 and the last one. So now index is going to actually help us to actually do that. You know what index does, right? So using index is going to ask you for the array, and the array is going to be this right here, right? So now the next thing is going to be row. Then the row number is going to actually get to be this. If I hit enter right now, it's showing us that we've actually selected order. What if I have 1 right here? So it's going to be sales, and this is what it is. So if we come back to the dashboard and actually make an option of profit right here, and we go back, so we have the third one selected, which is this particular one right here. So how do we populate this to actually create our chart dynamically? So what we need to do is just for we to actually use index and match function. Yes, index and match function is actually really cool, and we can use offset as well to actually get this done. But right now we're going to be using index and match. Maybe in the next other video we're going to be actually practice how to use offset to do this. Okay, I'm going to say index. Now it's looking for the array. So where is what we want sitting? So it's sitting right here. I'm going to actually select everything. That is where it is sitting. So right now we want to actually lock this down because we don't want it to actually move every single time we actually copy this down. It moves and it doesn't give us the right value, right? So the next thing I'm going to say comma, and it's going to be asking for the row number. The row number is going to be the match function. So the match function we actually determine that. So now lookup value is going to be this particular month right here. So I'm going to hit on my comma as well, and it's going to say, okay, now the lookup array, where is this month sitting? Where do you want me to actually look up this month from and pick up a value if that's needed? Okay, I'm going to actually highlight this whole column right here, and this time around I'm going to perform the same cell locking again just to make sure we have it locked down, not to move away. So right now that is cool. So it's asking, do we want the exact match or an approximate match? I'm going to say, okay, give me the exact match, something exactly. So now I'm going to have to close this, and I'm going to hit enter, comma again. So it's going to ask for the column. What column do you want to pull? How do we determine the kind of column you want me to pull away from here? Because we have 5 columns, the first, the second, third, fourth and fifth right here. So now how do we determine the column you want us to actually pull data from? So now you're going to actually go to match again. So we're going to use match. So the match is going to say the lookup right now. So what is the lookup? The lookup is going to be this, and now we still need to perform some cell locking right here. So make it some kind of absolute, right? So now here we go. If I say comma right now, it's going to be asking me for the array. So right now I'm going to select the top right here to actually find where it is sitting, right? So it's going to select, sorry, I'm going to select from here to find where this is sitting in this particular 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we still need to perform the cell locking again because we don't want this to actually shift every single time. So now here we go. It's asking for the type of the type of match. So I'm going to say 0, the exact match. I'm going to close this. If I hit enter, okay, I should have closed one more bracket. So if I hit enter right now, here is what I have. So it's cool. I'm going to actually make sure I drag this down right here. So now this is exactly what I want. So if you look at my profit, you can see my profit. I think something is amazing up right here. I think let me just get 1 and see what happens. So now it's actually taking January. So let's see what is the problem. So if you were the one, what are you gonna do? How would you actually debug this and get to know what is going on right here? If I select right now, I need to actually select this whole range, not just this. So right now what I'm gonna do is this particular range. I'm gonna actually, can we do this by selecting here? If this can actually work right, I think it's gonna be cool. The handle is what we need. Oh, sorry. Okay, fine. We need to locate the top right here. I think this top is actually gonna be from I'm gonna copy this away. I'm gonna make sure I have it selected down to this end, and it's going to be this. So now perform a set locking right here. I'm gonna perform a set locking. So I'm gonna hit enter, and now I have the correct one. So now here we go. So the reason why it was not really working was because we selected from here instead of we to select from the first one right here. Now the index is actually looking at this particular first number to be this one, not this. Is really working right now. So now if I select the fourth one, what we're gonna have, so now this is what we have right here as order. Look at the header and look at the header and look at the values we have right here. Exactly, we've just achieved what we really want right now, and we can start to create kind of chart we really want to create with this particular one right here. So now I'm gonna actually make sure I give this particular type of formatting. Go to number and actually hit on your currency. Oh no, I'm not gonna give it currency. I'm gonna hit on my what, on this, and hit on comma separator, and here we go. So right now, how do we gonna get this right? So I'm gonna actually double click on this right now and actually have my open bracket, and I'm gonna put my dollar sign in between this, and actually gonna give a little space right for this just to signify my dollar. So I'm gonna hit OK. Right now it appears right here. That was why I said we just need to link this up. So now I'm gonna click on this, and I'm gonna do the same thing right here. I'm gonna have it dropped in. So do the same thing for profit, or sorry, so do the same thing for profit right here, and I'm gonna go right here and I'm gonna hit OK. So now we can leave for order is not currency, so this is cool, right? So every single time we make a selection of the third one right here, so this is what we have automatically, right? So now we can start to create our chart by actually highlighting the whole thing we have right here, so we can actually select our chart. So for the first chart right now, what we're going to be having is our first column chart to be created. So now we create line chart in the next step. So I'm going to actually have to remove this away from here. I don't need it. I'm going to get this away from here, and now I'm going to double click on this, and I'm going to have to go and turn this off. I'm going to turn this particular border off as well. So now we've just got in our first chart. So that's cool. So this is very dynamic chart. It's going to change every single time we apply the filter on it from here. So now I'm going to actually get this away from now. Okay, I'm going to bring it down. So nicely. So now I'm going to have to double click again and actually make sure I bring this up again. So now this is actually my trend, my line, and I'm gonna go through this, and I still give the same color, and I'm gonna actually have to remove this and make sure it's a little bit like this. So now I'm gonna click on this, and I'm going to have to go right here and make sure I make it this way. Now this is nice. So we can now select the kind of color we really want for it by actually going back right here. So we can feel like selecting color, and if we are cool this kind of color we have right here, I think we can actually have it. So right now, so now this is amazing, right? So now how are we gonna know what we have selected? So it's very easy to do that. So now we've selected something else right now. We want to know what we've selected, so I'm gonna go to the top right now. I'm gonna actually have to make sure we have it. Also we have review. I'm gonna say no this. That is cool. So now here we go. So the next thing I'm gonna do right now is for me to actually format it very axis right here. Go to home and actually select. Here we go. So select here and make sure you kind of bold formats, and as well we select this. So that is cool. So right now I'm gonna go and copy this down. I'm gonna duplicate it down. So I'm still gonna go back and I put on my formula, but here right we go. I'm gonna go down to this, and I'm gonna pick this right here. So every single time we make a selection, that is gonna actually show up right there to see what we've actually selected. So I'm gonna crank this up. So I'm gonna put this on the white. So now here we go. If we make a selection, we have this. So now I have a trend line on the chart that you can actually add if you feel like. It's optional. You might really want to add this trend line. Go to design, and I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to go to my trend line, and I'm going to choose the kind of trend line I really want on it. I'm gonna say focus. No, I'm gonna say average. Well, you can go for an average, whatever trend line you want to go for. I told you it's optional. You can choose any trend line as well. You can go to focus, you can go for this. So if you want to go for this, and you can have something like this, but it's optional. I told you that it's really optional. You can have it removed if you want to remove it, that you don't want it. So exactly, this is what we want right now. So we've achieved this. If we actually look at what we have right here, we've actually done a lot of work just to get to this particular end. So now we go to the main dashboard. This is what we have gotten. So if I bring up my slides right here, this is what I have. So in the next video, what we'll be doing is to actually format us that look just like what this one looked like, and make sure we hide and unhide it automatically. That is what we're going to do next. So thank you very much for watching. If you've been a subscriber on my YouTube channel, all you just gotta do is to hit the subscribe button, as more wonderful dashboard is gonna be coming up in both Power BI and Excel. Thanks for watching.